name is Nicole. I'm a producer for the Remembering Them podcast. The podcast is a platform for people to share stories and memories of their loved ones who have passed away. The podcast was created in memory of Dad, Bob Cecil. May he rest in peace. Your host, Mark, Ryan, and Luke acknowledge the rich history and importance of storytelling within the indigenous culture.
My name is Jorgi Skeen, and I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we meet here today. Today we're meeting in Mianjin, and those traditional owners are the Yagara and Turrbal people. And I'd also like to pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and acknowledge my people, the Gubbi Gubbi people, and extend that acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening in today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Just Mark on today. Luke and Ryan could not make it, unfortunately. So, as regular listeners will know, we have an opportunity to tell our listeners why our other co-hosts are away, which may or may not be true. And the reason today, the recording date as of today, is the 8th of October. Generally speaking, our episodes get released a little bit later. Fortunately, we do have a couple of episodes in the bank. The reason the boys can't be with us today, it's actually World Octopus Day, the 8th of October time of recording, which is part of the Cephalopod Awareness Days, if I've said that correctly, spotlighting conservation and the remarkable intelligence of octopuses, which is, I believe, the correct plural. So Luke and Ryan are both exploring the world of octopuses today at a local aquarium, and one of them gave me a call earlier and gave me a fun fact. They said that an octopus has 3 hearts, 2 to pump blood to the gills and 1 that pumps it to the rest of the body. When swimming, the main heart actually stops beating, which is one reason they prefer to crawl rather than swim. So that was an interesting fact. Thank you, Ryan and Luke, for sending that one through. Hope you enjoy your day today with the octopuses and learning more about them. Our guest today, onto the clues, as always, playing along at home. 3 clues for you to guess where our guest is from today. Clue number 1, you can hike on a former coral reef here. There is an escarpment which runs through this city, or after a city, which was once an ancient tropical seabed, meaning you're hiking on fossilized coral reefs over 400 million years old. I'll let you pause the podcast now if you want to have a guess. Second clue, this city holds so we're in Canada, Canada's largest rib fest, which is held annually in Spencer Smith Park. It draws hundreds and thousands of visitors, making it the largest of its kind in Canada and one of the biggest barbecue events in the world. And here's a fun fact as well, which Ryan would enjoy. Every vendor has vegetarian options. Pause again if you want to have a guess of a Canadian city. Third and final clue for you at home if you haven't got it already. This city is home to one of the world's top botanical gardens. It's the largest botanical garden in Canada and a UNESCO designated biosphere reserve. So there are your 3 clues for you today. You can hike on a former coral reef, Canada's largest rib fest, and home to one of the world's top botanical gardens. If you haven't guessed already, the city we're in today is Burlington, Ontario. So the Burlington Rib Fest, held in Spencer Smith Park, is the largest rib fest, and the Royal Botanical Gardens, which is partially located in Burlington. Burlington is a peaceful lakeside city that blends a small town charm with easy access to big city life in Toronto and Hamilton. It has a community vibe, scenic waterfront, and walkable neighbourhoods, making it a hidden gem for families and nature lovers alike. Today's guest is a full-time content creator based in Ontario, Canada, where she shares life with her boyfriend and beloved cat. She's passionate about music, storytelling through video, and to the surprise of her family, has recently discovered a love for cooking, and she's actually pretty good at it. Our guest today from Burlington, Ontario in Canada is Cara Marie. So, welcome to the Remembering Them podcast officially, Cara. Thank you very much for joining me all the way over from Canada.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. I'm
Good.
wonderful and really happy that you and pleased that you've joined us. Thanks for responding to our reach out, and we're really honoured to hear your story today. And if you'd like to jump straight in and tell us, look, who we're talking about today, what happened to them. I understand it was quite recent, and a
Yes.
little bit about that person and the relationship to you.
Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about my mom. She passed in May, this past May, in May 2025 on May 2nd. It was actually my boyfriend's birthday, and it was a very strange day and things like that, but we'll get into that later if you want. But my mom was definitely like, she just made everything feel a little bit lighter and like a mother's touch. Like she defined that. Like it really was easy for me to connect with her and be her best friend. And she would be very creative. She baked wedding cakes, she sang, she was an artist, and she did lovely things like that. And she always had this wonderful way of stepping back and like letting me dream. I'm a very creative person. It's what I do for a living. It's like a wonderful thing in my life. And it, even when it terrified her, she still always let me do it and let me just go for it. And she was 66. She was full of life. She was healthy. It was very random. So it's an interesting experience, that's for sure.
And Mum's name, Cara, and
Oh, her,
also what happened on that day?
yeah, so her name was Cheryl, Cheryl Ann, and she used to say, "I'm Cheryl Ann with an E," because she had E at the end of her name. So it's always a big joke in our family, and she was commonly the punchline in the jokes of our family. I definitely miss that, but I think she just liked that she made us laugh. But um, that day it was my boyfriend's birthday, and I had set up a little video project thing for, and I sent out a request to everybody in my boyfriend's life to send him a birthday message. And my mom sent me a birthday message the day before, like a couple hours before midnight and stuff like that. And I got the message and it was so cute. She did this little skit with, she had rollers in her hair and she's like, "Oh, wait 1 second." And then she came back in the camera and she's like, "Oh, sorry, Curtis, happy birthday." And it's just like so silly and it's just such a nice video to have. It's a little eerie sometimes, like to see because it was just hours before she passed. But it is really refreshing to have it. But that day, I figured she didn't reach out to him or I, or him or me, because I thought she just sent the video and that was her happy birthday message. So I kind of messaged her around 6 o'clock at night and I was curious as to why she hadn't reached out to Curtis. And she didn't answer, obviously. And my brother was expressing to me that he wanted to go check it out. And I was like, maybe not. And her boyfriend went over to the house and they found her. And she had been passed for about, I'm not sure how long, but that day she had passed. And it was very sudden. There was no warning signs, no nothing. And it was very, very strange. And we don't really know what happened. We know that her heart just kind of stopped. It's very, very bizarre. But yeah.
What a shock, probably obviously,
Yeah.
that.
It was a couple days before Mother's Day, too, which was awful. And then my birthday was 2 weeks after. And of course, it was my boyfriend's birthday, so that day is kind of sad now.
Mhm.
So, well, it is sad now. So, uh, it's really hard, but it's really changed me. And I think that's what a lot of people who go through grief can say, that there was before and after. There's never a time that that part of my life will ever feel like that part of my life again. It's gone. And that's a part to grieve as well, not just a person. And it's really difficult to understand that. So I think that's why I started sharing my experience online. And when I started sharing my experience online, I had a lot of people express the need for that. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. If you do not speak up, if you do not say how you feel and talk about this person and act like they were there because they were, you're in this prison. Like you have to break through. So she really taught me to express myself and never be ashamed of that. And I'm going to continue to do that in her memory for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you started to describe a little bit before and around her humor and how she was seen in the family.
Yeah.
If you can elaborate a little bit on that a little bit more, how would you describe Cheryl Ann with an E?
Cheryl Ann with an E. Well, funny enough, a very popular TikToker named Cassandra Bowman prank called my mom on live, and we recorded it, and she was got in a little argument with them saying my name's Cheryl Ann with an E and it's with an E, and the prank was no, it's not with an E, and it was just so funny. And we always laughed about that, and that video was so hilarious. And she was always, always, always the victim of my pranks. And I would prank call her all the time and just do the silliest things, and she always would fall for it. And she just was so gullible, and it was so adorable. And I just think uh, that was one of my favorite things about her, is just being able to prank her. And now I look back and I have all those videos and all those memories, and it makes sense because she was so sentimental as well. She was hilarious, but she had the biggest heart of anybody. And uh, she kept everything from little notes to old photos because memories really meant something to her. And I think that's what, like I said, like I miss the most. It's how she turned small moments into something like worth keeping, if that makes sense. And she made little funny videos on the internet, so hilarious for me to make and share. And now I get to share my experience of the loss of her and help people in that way. And they can go back and watch the videos and laugh.
Yeah. So some of those lessons, those small things in creating wonderful memories out of them, are they some of the lessons that you have learned from your mum? And I guess that's
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think she taught me, like, the biggest lesson she taught me would definitely be like that creativity is its own strength. And she, like, I don't know how to explain it in a way that would make her make sense, but she would just make anything beautiful. And I think that's what I want to do. I want to make every experience beautiful. I want to make every little dinner, every birthday party, every photo matter and count. And I think that's like the wake up call you get when you lose someone. Like, I'm only 33 years old, and I lost her, and she was 33 when she had me. So it's just the lessons that I had got the chance to learn from her are very heavy on my heart, because there's a lot of moments that she's not going to be there, she's not going to see, but there's a lot of moments that she'll be in because she taught me how to go through them in a way that she might have done. And I can think, what would mom do? And she gave me enough guidance to be able to carry that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
You mentioned the memories that you're sharing. Is there another way? I mean, that you'll continue to do that, of course, to keep her
Yeah.
memory and legacy alive. Are there other ways that you plan to honor her or currently honoring her?
Yeah, actually, on Mother's Day, I she passed on May 2nd, and Mother's Day here in Canada is was May the 10th, I believe, this year. It's different every year. And I found a note from my mom when I was going through things, and it's a little note. It's actually right here. It says, "Love ya, miss ya." And it's in her handwriting. And she wrote about 10 of those and hid them around the house when she went on vacation one year. And I guess I happened to keep one. And I ended up getting it tattooed on my side.
That's
And
straight where my thought was. That's exactly what I'd be doing. I would have gone and
yeah,
done. Yeah.
and I had the opportunity, a tattoo artist, and me connected, and she closed her shop on Mother's Day and let me and my boyfriend go in by ourselves. She absolutely blasted Taylor Swift because, believe it or not, I'm a fan. And me and my mom had a huge connection between her as well. So we blasted Taylor Swift, and she gave me my tattoo on Mother's Day, and it was probably the most special part of the early days and the early healing that I could have asked for, because now my mom's by my side, and that's what I always say. I wanted it there because I wanted her right beside me, and I always swore I would never get a tattoo after my first one, but for her, I'm like, I gotta carry her with me forever. So that's another way I honor her is through the tattoo.
Yeah. What about I'm sure that holiday experience in the notes is a great memory. Is there another favorite story or memory of your mum that sticks out to you, or one that you can share?
One, she would be so mad if I said this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Um, one time she came home and she's like, I have something. And I'm like, what? And I just hear this little like footprints, like tickle, 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 like down the stairs. And I'm like, what is going on? There was two puppies. She brought home two puppies randomly one night. And for no reason. She's like, I couldn't leave him. And it's just like, that is her. Like, she just showed up at the house. It was just me and my mom living in this house together, and she just brought home two puppies. And we already had two dogs, by the way.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
just like,
Okay.
Mom, what are you doing? And she's like, I just had to make sure they had a home. And so we ended up finding them homes, but my mom needed to get them out of the space that they were in and then bring them homes. And one of my best friends actually had that dog for very many years. And so I was still close with the dogs anyway, but it was really funny. And it's just her. She was just so silly, goofy, spontaneous, and she didn't care what people thought. Yeah, I'm bringing home two dogs. I don't care. And she was she was hilarious. She was hilarious.
Was there a quote or saying or something that she would that you will remember her by?
Um, I don't really know if there's exactly like one certain thing that she would like always say, like something like a philosopher would say or something
Yeah.
crazy, but she would say something like, oh well, all the time. And my grandmother would say that. She would say, "Oh, well," all the time. And I think my mom picked that up from my grandmother, and sometimes I catch myself saying it, and it's made me kind of just like relax a bit and be like, "Oh, well, life goes on." Like, and it's just kind of refreshing that she was very laid back, worried, very worried about things. She watched much too many crime shows, but she always had the spirit of everything was going to work out and everything happened for a reason type of thing. And she always carried that with her. And I think it's going to make me be a little bit more, you know what? It's going to be okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
She
And
was
is that
very
a
comforting.
lesson, while we're, I guess that on that theme, is that a lesson post her? We spoke about the lessons that you gained from her as a person, but I guess from with your somewhat short grief journey so far,
Yeah.
is that a lesson that you've taken from that, or what other lessons have you taken so far?
My lesson through losing her has been the importance of the like how fragile life is, how 1 second she's here, she's normal, we're planning my birthday party, and the next week I'm writing thank you cards to people who supported us through the worst news of our lives. And um it's very strange to see how, like, I know my mom loved me, of course, and I always felt that, but it's very strange to see how much she actually loved me, in a way of like in a different way. Because I say that because when I was going through her things, I looked through her nightstand and I pulled out, and it was my uh, baby ultrasound photos. I'm 33 years old. Like, I had my brothers, and my brother is almost 40, and it had my birth announcement and a Mother's Day card I made when I was 10. And I don't think we realize how much our parents carry us through their lives. And now I know that I can carry my mom that way, in a different way, and I can make sure I am the person she always thought that I was. And I think who our parents think we are is who we actually are, because they know us better than anyone. And I'm just trying to find a way to believe that. And I think she makes me more confident. So that's another lesson I've learned, is what I'm trying to say, is that she's brought on a different side of confidence for me, because I've never seen myself so loved before. And it's just really, it's a gift to know that I had that experience in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connection to mum. You spoke about connection to mum, and you're both massive Swifties. I'm not sure if you share the criminal show, love for criminal shows that she did, but
Oh, yeah.
what other things do you share and keep that connection with your mum?
We both love events. Like, I'm the girl who's always putting up a balloon arch, even if it's the smallest little event in the world. And I work in events. I love events. It's my favorite thing. And she always taught me to be extra, and she taught me it's okay to be extra and just live your life how you want. And yeah, that's something really special to me.
Yeah.
It really is. Sorry, it's just it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had advice for people, Cara, that either have gone through something similar to yourself or may go through something in the future, and are listening to this with that sudden loss, what advice would you give to people?
Um, if they do go through it, um, there's two answers to that. If they have gone through it and they're struggling with a sudden loss, or even a loss that they saw coming for years, a loss to me is a loss, and it's going to change you. And when you've been changed, as they know, you just have to make sure you don't let it drain you. It's going to drain you in ways that you never experienced. So you have to refuel your life in a way that it makes sense, because that's it's going to be this missing hole. So when when you've lost, you have to fill it. You have to be busy, but more importantly, you have to stay true to yourself. So even though you're losing a part of yourself and you've lost this massive thing in your life, you have to rebuild, and rebuild who you're going to be and who you're going to honor them through, like who you're going to be and stuff like that moving forward. So to just keep busy, surround yourself with people, and make sure you feel it, make sure you cry, make sure you know exactly how you feel. Because, like I said at the beginning, it's a prison if you don't. And to people who have never lost someone and may expect to lose someone in the future, well, everybody, I guess, goes through it, right? Take the photo, laugh, don't leave early, be funny, call, answer the phone, do anything you want. If you're 14 years old, let your mom drop you off at the mall. Like, you only become 14 once. And your mom is also there. Like, Taylor Swift has a song, it's like she's growing older too. So it doesn't matter what you weigh, what you look like, what you're wearing, take the photo. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's good advice, and
Yeah.
maybe difficult in the time with
Yeah.
distractions and the world and pressures and just life in general. But I guess especially after you've been through it, you can certainly reflect on that and those
Yeah.
moments. Yeah.
And there's never going to be an easy part of the journey. So you have to see, and you have to grow through what's going to be hard through the journey. So for me, sharing my story is very difficult. It's very difficult to be that vulnerable on camera and sharing all these personal things about my life. And if there's anything I can say is that's what's helped me the most. So
Mm.
just being vulnerable and being yourself and making, you don't have to share and tell the whole world like I'm doing, but like uh just do something. Just don't sit in it is what I mean. But sit in it and feel it. So it's like
Mm. Yeah.
it it's hard to believe, but grief is confusing.
Yeah.
Believe it
Yeah.
or not.
It absolutely is, and I think what you've done in a short period, this is really a general sweeping statement, and the boys, if they're on, would agree with me, but females in general are much better going through the grief process than guys, bottling things up. So that's great advice in terms of just sitting in it, being
Yeah.
vocal if you need to, speaking to someone, reaching out, and that's how. I mean, to touch on that, that's how you are processing things, or that's helping you in sharing your story and how you're processing things and moving along in the grief journey.
This is a paid partnership with BetterHelp. Hey Luke and Ryan, life gets heavy sometimes, especially when grief hits. For me, that weight often shows up as anxiety.
Yeah, it's not always one big thing. Sometimes it's just life piling up, work, relationships, trying to hold it all together. Suddenly, I'm anxious and don't know why.
Totally. I used to think anxiety meant panic attacks, but for me, it's more like overthinking every choice or feeling like I'm never doing enough.
And it can even hit on good days. Out of nowhere, I'm spiraling over things that haven't even happened yet.
It's easy to feel alone in it, but you're not.
That's why we're talking about our paid partner, BetterHelp.
BetterHelp connects you with credentialed therapists who can help manage anxiety and more.
Most people go to BetterHelp for anxiety, and 69% feel better after just 6 weeks.
Getting started is simple. Fill out a quick questionnaire and get matched with a therapist. If it's not a fit, you can switch at any time.
Their support team is super responsive, and with over 7,000 reviews and a 4.3 Trustpilot rating, it's a platform you can count on.
So let BetterHelp help manage your anxiety so it doesn't manage you.
Click the link below or go to betterhelp.com/rememberingthem for 10% off your first month.
Yeah, absolutely. Sharing is so important to me. I've been sharing my life online since I want to say 2007, 2008. And my mom is in so many of those videos and so many things like I mentioned before, and my dad and everybody. And it's been something I'm so grateful to have and to express. And being creative is an outlet for me. And it's very important that, like I said, my mom taught me that like creativity is a strength. And it's so important to stay true to who you are in your skills and what makes you you, and that's what makes me me is my creativity. So to fuel my healing with that is the only way I could get through this.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, and especially given the surprise and the suddenness of her passing, because I guess if I think back to when I hopefully not that long ago now, but in my 30s, but mum's is a similar age to your mum as well, and I guess in your mind you're thinking, well, 80, 90, hopefully 100, whatever, but for 66, that's 30 years shorter, 20 to 30 years shorter than you would have been, quote unquote, expecting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was so shocking. And I think I've recently just I made a video about this the other day, and it was just I said I just realized she died. Like, it's a very, very weird feeling to look around and be like, "Oh, yeah, like, she's actually not coming back." Like, I make a joke all the time that she's just in Mexico or something, and it's like, "No, like, this is it, like, the rest of my life." And I had an experience where I wasn't feeling well, and, I had to be admitted to the hospital, and I was looking around, and I was like, "I can't call my mom right now." Like, this is really, really, really strange. I don't have my best friend, so it was, like, the first time in life that something normal, or not normal, but something happened outside of losing her that was hard, and in that experience was very, 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 very confusing.
Mm.
And, I think in that moment, I didn't like, when it had just happened, it was, like, weeks after, I had not realized and accepted like they say you go through stages, right? And I hadn't accepted. And I think now I'm able to talk about it without crying as much and able to express myself and understand where to put the grief and stuff by you know, I have the rest of my life to heal. And I say that grief settles, that you don't really heal, you settle into it. And I guess it is a form of healing, but to just know that they're really gone and accepting is like the hardest thing ever. And I just don't really know where the point is that people will get there, because everybody's different, right? And where they accept and move on. Or I don't even know if move on is the right word.
No,
Move forward.
Move forward is, yeah, that's probably a great way to
Yeah.
say that. I guess that's where you, yeah, as you said, you sit in it and move forward, rather than move on, because we always want to have that connection, right? And continue that
Yeah,
legacy.
we never truly move on, but maybe we move on from the stages. And we move forward. We move on from anger and guilt and all that stuff. And I know you probably revisit these stages multiple times. It's not like a one-time shop, like a one-time ticket, and you're just running through and being like, okay, check, done,
No,
next stage.
absolutely. Yeah, that's right. And it could be those
And that's
moments.
something else that I've learned.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be. And yeah, relating it to yourself and the connection you had with your mum, it might be a, Taylor Swift song, or something that just brings you back to, a moment of grief, and something that you thought you had, moved forward or moved through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's true. Like, I don't know if you heard the big news, but Taylor Swift just came out with a new album, and me and my mom very much bonded over her. And she loves the Chiefs and Travis and all that, and she loves all that. And she'd always call me, being like, "Hey, I heard she's getting married and stuff." And like, she hadn't been engaged yet. My mom never got to see that, but um, I went to a Taylor Swift event the night of the release, and I got very emotional. And I'm like, grief will hit you even in your happiest moment. Like, of course, I was happy. I was having fun with my friends and going out, and Taylor Swift album, it was great. And then I was like, oh my God, I cannot call my mom when I get home and send her my outfit and all that fun stuff girls and moms do. And it's just, it's very strange to live in a world without her.
So you mentioned the sharing aspect, and in that moment, the sudden loss of your mum. What was that situation like with people around you? Was it friends? Was it family? You mentioned, obviously, not that it's ever good timing, but even worse if it can be that way. Timing on your boyfriend's birthday. What was
Yeah.
that moment like? And
The Remembering Them podcast is supported by My Legacy Message. How do you want to be remembered? My Legacy Message provides a service that delivers a personalized keepsake video to your loved ones, often as a surprise after you pass. My Legacy Message, be remembered.
moment like, and
We were actually headed out for dinner, and it was around 6:30 at night, and we were in the car, and I hadn't talked to my dad that day, I don't think. I don't remember if I had talked to him before. And I had talked to my brother though, and he was concerned about my mom, and I was like, ah, it's fine, whatever. She's probably just like sleeping or playing Candy Crush or something. And I was like, whatever, it's not a big deal. And he's like, why aren't you concerned? So I was like, she's fine. And then I kind of got a little worried, because I was like, oh, it's really weird. She's not messaging him. And we went downstairs. We had a reservation, and I was sitting in the car, and my dad called me, and I thought, oh, he's calling to say happy birthday to Curtis. And he just told me, and I don't think I remember a single thing after that night. Like, it was terrible. Of course, it was shocking, and I really don't remember anything.
yeah,
It was a very shocking moment, and I had lost other people in my life who were very close to me. Like, my grandparents were very, very close to me, and it didn't feel like that though. To lose a parent so young and so unexpected was something that I never want anyone to experience, but the people who have experience, we're in a little club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you connected with people in that club?
I absolutely have actually. I have a wonderful friend. Her name's Nicole, and we've connected, and we've actually hung out in person, and we've connected online, and we talk to each other. And anytime I would be like, "Oh, I wish I could call my mom," I call Nicole,
Hmm.
or I call my best friend, or I talk to my boyfriend or something. But Nicole and me have a very special bond because we both lost our parents our mothers very suddenly, and it's tragic and it's a horrible thing to relate to someone to, and it's weird to say, but I'm so grateful that I have that connection with her, regardless of what the connection is. It's just nice to have somebody who understands.
Yeah, that does make sense. And it's a bit difficult now because you haven't, it hasn't been a year and those moments haven't rolled around yet. But Curtis's birthday, so close to Mother's Day, your birthday, if I can remember correctly as well, was
Yep.
just around the corner.
It was like 2 weeks after, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess at the time having those special moments and then fast forwarding really 6, 7 months time, what do you anticipate? Is there things that you're going to do?
Yeah, actually her birthday's on October 26th. And we're having a celebration of life for her. We didn't have a service or anything when she passed, due like for her wishes. She didn't want anything. I did get this beautiful candle urn for her. And both me and my brother have one, and we have them at our homes, and it's just nice. My mom said, I don't want a funeral. I just want to be on your fireplace. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is years away. And I'm like, so grateful we had those talks because
Hmm.
I wouldn't have known what to do. But um, me and my mom, she'd call me every single day at 10 a.m. Like we would talk every single day. And I know it's a little bit off topic, but um, the day before she passed, or 2 days before she passed, me and her called each other 15 times. And it was like, that is very unusual for us. Like we would call each other in the morning, how you doing? Oh, I gotta go groceries, doing this for work, bye, okay, have a good day. And then I'd call her the next day and we'd talk or whatever, sometimes longer than others. But that day, for some reason, she kept FaceTiming me, showing what she was cooking, and just I went to the store, bought this, showing me things, and I found this under the stairs, and she just kept calling me all day. And it was really wonderful. But that's what I'm gonna realize in like in months time, is that's going to make feel worse, I think, like the emptiness of those like not having those conversations. But I also think I will feel different and move forward because I'm doing things like having a celebration of life and healing and accepting it. And so it's so strange with grief because you can step backwards and forwards at the same time. And I think only people who go through grief understand what I mean by that. It's I can step backwards because I'm going to miss her at 10 a.m. every single day for the rest of my life, but I can step forward and accept that there'll be other happy moments at 10 a.m.
Hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't know if that
absolutely does.
does.
Absolutely does. Yeah. And I guess on that theme, the moments that you can look back, and I really love how you describe that, being able to move backwards and then forwards again, because of that. Has that, I think I know the answer, but I'll let you describe it. But your relationships with other loved ones around you because of, the loss of your mum and going through that grieving process, how's that changed your relationship with other family members and friends and your partner?
Yeah. I think me and my boyfriend look at each other like, oh my goodness, like we have to hold on to every moment, and life is just so precious, and it's so cliche. But there's this wonderful saying that I heard many, many years ago that's the secrets to life are hidden in the word cliche. So it is very wonderful to live life to the fullest and love each other and hold on to each other, celebrate every moment, all the phony or like fluffy stuff, I should say. Um, but it's made me and my family closer. It's made me and my brother closer, and my niece and everybody. I look at my family and I'm like, this is all going to be gone one day. Like, we're all going to be different. Life's going to be different. And we just have to celebrate and be with each other. And that's so easy to say. And I think everybody says, like, oh, she lived life to the fullest and all that stuff. You hear she lit up a room and all that. And by all means, I'm sure that is absolutely true because we see our loved ones that way. But I truly feel that the biggest lessons in grief is to just live more. And I think a lot of people take that away. And the people who don't are just so sad and broken because of their loss. And it's so hard to accept. And eventually, what I'm trying to say is you get there and you become closer with your family, and your family gets you through those moments too, or your loved one, or whoever's your support system.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
really changes your life.
Yeah. Yeah. For the better, I guess it
It
really is.
does.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the most, I don't even know if bittersweet is a proper word or appropriate word, and I don't mean to offend anybody by that, but it's like the most bittersweet lesson of all time.
Hmm.
It's like, oh my gosh, now I know how to live life, but how am I going to live it without them? And it's like, it's just so heavy. And it's okay to let other people in, and don't be afraid to let other people in just because you lost someone and you're scared to feel that loss again, because those people are going to make those losses feel lighter.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And what I'm taking from that, it's actually strengthened your relationship with your family members. Well, certainly that's how
Yeah.
I've experienced it, after
Oh
dad's
yeah.
passing. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm absolutely, like, I'm Italian. Like, we are a big happy family, but it has made us unbelievably close, and we don't take it for granted. And I don't think we did before either. And I just think we're on overdrive now. We're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we got to do this. We got to make the effort. We
Yeah.
got to take the photos, like I said, and drive and all that stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think if I can say this to you on a one-to-one basis, is keep sharing, because what this has reminded me is that you need to cherish and appreciate those moments. And it's not the whole, as you mentioned, it's not the whole, oh, I've got to, cherish every second with that person, because of course you're going to be tired and frustrated and they'll say things, or whatever, but really just make sure you go and take the photos and spend the time and have those conversations, because as you said, how would you have known? And for me, hearing your story is, my mum's a very similar age to your mum when she passed. So not to expect that it is going to be that 20, 30 years, and just really appreciate
Yep,
and be grateful for the time that you have with that person or with these loved ones.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so important to cherish everything. And it's so silly to think it's like, well, duh. But it's like we
Hmm.
don't live in that duh state. Like, we forget.
Right. Yeah. I'm interested in those conversations, and you mentioned that, your mum said, "Oh, I don't want to do this," and then how did that come up? Because it sounded like it wasn't unprompted. It was just something that your mum raised with you, and started to have those
Yeah.
conversations around what it might look like when she isn't around anymore.
Yeah. My mom's mom passed just before my mom actually passed. So my grandmother. And my mom lost her sister as well. So we've had a lot of loss in my family. And so death is not a taboo thing in my life. Um, it's always kind of been around, and my aunt passed tragically when I was like 12 or something. So like I understand the concept at a young age, and I saw my mom go through the hurt and all that. Um, uh, what was the question again?
That's okay. It was more around, I guess,
Oh,
yeah,
the
yeah,
conversations. Sorry,
conversations.
I
Yeah.
got lost
No,
in the
that's okay.
memory. And then I got choked up a bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, the
So I guess it
conversation.
was
So
something that your mum, because the experience, and I'm paraphrasing it,
yeah,
but just correct me if I'm completely wrong, but because of the experience of losing her mom and then her sister,
Yes.
it opened up those conversations.
Yeah. And when we had things like funerals and things like that, my mom's just like, oh, like, I don't want to do this. Like, don't do it. She's like, I just want to be cremated and just on your mantle. Like, she would just laugh and say that stuff, and I would get mad, but I never imagined it to be now. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a very different experience, and I'm so glad we did talk about that stuff. And she was very into like the spiritual world, and she believed in like mediums and tarot cards and stuff like that and connecting. So she always said that she doesn't need a grave, she doesn't need a funeral, she's just here. So that's how it kind of came up. And just knowing her, I think also helps. Like, I just know that my mom wouldn't have wanted anything, even if she didn't tell me that. She wasn't like a big attention seeker. Like, my mom was so incredibly beautiful, and that was something everyone always would say about her. She was like a Barbie, like blonde hair, like gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And she still didn't like attention. She didn't even know she was that beautiful. And so it's like, I just know she just wants to be with us, not anything else. So it's nice.
If I can ask you to somewhat summarize, and we've heard about the beautiful person that she is, or was physically, the humorous person she was, the family orientated person she was. Does that, have I completely accurately done it, or how would you?
That really does. And I think a word that I really would just wrap my mom up in is resilient, because she lost her father at a very young age, and her sister and her mom, and she just did a lot of work on herself. And I think that no matter what happened, she always came back, and it was always better, and she always learned, and she always had this spunk in her. And I'm so grateful I never saw that spunk go away. And she was always Cheryl, and with an E.
Carol, one final question for you for the main part of the podcast. Traditionally, our most difficult question, and also granted it's been quite a short time since your mum's passing. So take your time with this one. But the final question we normally ask our guests: if your mum was in front of you today, what would you say to her?
What the hell? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I would say thank you for teaching me the importance of memories and being sentimental, because I feel like that really sets me apart from others, because I share and I'm vulnerable, and I know it's okay, and I'm not embarrassed to be cringy. I'm not embarrassed to do what I have to do to get a message across. And my mom always, always taught me that. And I would say thank you for that, because she made me fearless. She truly, truly did. I don't think there's anybody in this world who believes in me like my parents do. Like I said, every single dream they funded, they pushed, they never let me give up, and they allowed me to be me. And I just wanted her to say thank you for seeing me, and not this vision she had of me. Or she just, if I wanted to be a baker, all right, let's go, let's bake some cakes. If I wanted to be a singer, let's go. Like, she was she was wonderful. And I don't think I will ever have anyone in my life love me like my mom did, in that way, and believe in me in that way. And that's unbelievable to have. So it's a privilege, and I'm grateful for that.
And I'm sure the what the hell reaction would be. Sounds like it totally expected from her anyway. So that would be okay. You could absolutely open with that. Cara, thank you so much. We're so grateful and honoured for you to come onto the podcast and share stories of your mum, Cheryl Ann with an E. Loved hearing about her. Loved hearing about the stories and memories, and also the lessons that you've learned from her in life, but also post her passing. I'm sure it definitely will help someone out there. So, and as I said in earlier, please continue sharing your story because I feel like it'll help people, but I feel like after the conversation we had that your mum will want you to continue sharing it as well.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you for having me and hearing about her. And it's my favorite thing to do is share her. So I really, really, truly appreciate it.
Thank you, Cara. So that was Cara from Ontario, Burlington City, Ontario, Canada. I mentioned to Cara just before we jumped off there that I've some really good friends, only about half an hour from her. So if the opportunity arises in the future, it'd be great to catch up in person. What a wonderful job she's doing, processing her grief and working through things. I mentioned her in the Patreon chat, which you won't see unless you're a Patreon member, that it's certainly coming through how she is processing this well, I guess, if you can say it that way, um, by sharing this. The videos that she has of her mom and the story that she's going through with her own grief journey, I think it's coming through and it's um, helping her processing and dealing with things. So, and I just said to go there, continue doing what she's doing because she's doing amazing. And it was wonderful hearing about Cheryl Ann with an E and the bright person that she was, and the effect that she's had on not only Cara but seemingly the rest of the family as well. And my heart goes out to the family with that sudden passing, as I mentioned in the main podcast. That um, you know. Cheryl Ann with an E is so close to my mum's age now, so it really I will come out of this with that sense of gratitude around those relationships, not only with a parent, but with the family in general. So thank you very much, Cara. Keep doing what you're doing. We're so grateful for you coming on, and it was wonderful hearing stories about your mum and continue sharing that. Speaking of sharing, please share this podcast episode with any friends or family or colleagues, people in your life that you think may need to listen to this story and may get benefit out of it, and any of our episodes for that matter. Please jump on and give the podcast a like and review on Spotify, Apple, however you listen to the podcast. That would really help us reach anyone that is needing to lean on other people's stories around grief and sharing their stories and memories. And in that vein, we would love for you to join our Patreon. So we had an exclusive chat with Cara there at the end. We spoke about how she's remembering her mum and connecting on a spiritual level. We also spoke about, and I really enjoyed this part, hearing about one of the favorite pranks that she pulled on her mum. And I will give this away here, that it was the trend that's going around where you call a person and listen to their you have noise cancelling headphones on. If I've described this poorly, I'm sorry. And she had her partner trying to relay messages. And I believe that video has had really, really good viewership on Cara's story. So go check that out on her Instagram page. We will link her in the notes and when we release this episode on Instagram. But please support our Patreon. You have that will give you access to the exclusive chats that we have with our guests and the one that we had with Cara there. So it's about $6 a month US, $9 a month Australian. Give you access to those exclusive chats, but also as a way to support the podcast as well, and we continue sharing stories and memories of people going through grief. A reminder that if you do need to speak to someone, that we have that partnership with BetterHelp, betterhelp.com/remembering them, and also the My Legacy Message service, mylegacymessage.com.au, where you can leave a video message to your loved one, often as a surprise after you've passed. And I guess Cara is doing that fortunately with the videos that she has, and she also mentioned the notes that she's got from a holiday that they had together, which is wonderful to keep those memories alive. So please check that out as well. Thank you very much for joining me, Luke and Ryan. Hope you've enjoyed your time with the octopuses and interesting, World Octopus Day, and we spoke about the three hearts, and unfortunately, it was Cheryl's heart that stopped all of a sudden. So, just such a devastating thing to happen so suddenly. So thank you very much, Cara, for jumping on and sharing stories and memories of your mum. We loved hearing about it, and we look forward to sharing the next story. Hopefully Luke and Ryan can join for the next one. Until then, please connect with your loved ones, as we do mention in the outro, and tell someone that you love them today. Speak to you soon. Love you. Bye.
The Remembering Them podcast is created for entertainment purposes. Mark, Ryan, and Luke are not licensed mental health professionals. If you would like to discuss your mental well-being, several resources are available in Australia. Information about these services are available in the podcast notes. Please take the time to contact your loved one today and tell them how much you appreciate and love them.